You can't always see someone's past, but you can feel it. It's not about how many relationships they've had. It's about the emotional patterns those relationships created. How they talk about love, how they approach intimacy, how they respond to trust. This isn't about judging anyone. This is about protecting yourself. Because when you confuse emotional burnout for emotional maturity, you'll waste years trying to build peace with someone who only knows how to survive in chaos. 1. Emotional energy speaks. Every person gives off an emotional signal, subtle but powerful. People who've gone through too many short term connections often build emotional walls. Not because they're bad, because it's the only way they know how to cope. That emotional distance can look like confidence. It's not. It's self protection. You can feel it. Their laugh never really reaches their eyes. They know what to say, but it doesn't feel real. You're in the same room, but you're not in the same moment. As a grounded man, your job is to read energy, not just charm. Ask yourself, do I feel calm around this person, or am I being pulled into a performance? To intimacy without depth. Today, intimacy has been stripped of meaning. It's treated like a handshake, casual, disposable, forgettable. Sex has become an activity. Connection has become rare. But every real bond requires vulnerability, presence, emotional risk. If someone treats closeness like a game, you'll end up bonding alone. Don't shame them, but don't give your soul to someone who's only showing up with their body. As a man, learn the difference between shared experience and shared presence. Depth matters. 3. The pattern of disconnection. Psychology tells us repetition shapes the heart. If someone has built and broken too many attachments, they start to expect every connection to fail, so they stop attaching altogether. But they won't tell you that. They'll call it freedom, they'll say they're just independent. But what they're really saying is, I've trained myself not to care too much, because it never lasts. And here's where many men go wrong. They try to convince them to stay. They think love can fix it. But maturity means knowing this. You don't have to trap anyone to keep them, but you also don't have to chase anyone who runs from peace. 4. Emotional intelligence versus emotional tactics. Some people have been through so many emotional experiences, they've learned to study behavior like a script, not for connection, but for survival. They know when to be sweet to hook you in, when to withdraw to make you chase, how to mirror your emotions to earn your trust. But that's not intimacy. That's repetition. And if you're not careful, you'll fall for someone's coping mechanism and mistake it for compatibility. You can't build something real with someone who's performing. Choose consistency over emotional fireworks. Choose calm over chaos. 5. Validation addiction. In today's culture, attention is the new currency. Social media teaches people that being seen, calm being valuable. And for many, constant validation becomes emotional fuel. They need the likes, the compliments, the you're so hot comments, the never ending inbox of interest. Because without it, they feel invisible. The truth? Attention isn't affection. Visibility isn't value. And for a man, chasing validation is emotional poverty. Walk away from that game. Choose significance over visibility. Choose being respected over being wanted for a moment. 6. The power of environment. You're not just dating a woman, you're stepping into her lifestyle, her beliefs, her circle. If her closest friends celebrate chaos, your calm will feel boring to her. If her group thrives on games, hookups, and temporary highs, your depth will feel foreign. People are shaped by their environment, and if her world is built on attention, drama, and temporary pleasure, your presence will always feel out of place. You're not just choosing her, you're choosing everything that feeds her mind and spirit. Know what you're walking into. 7. Bitterness as armor. Sometimes pain sounds like wisdom when you hear phrases like, all men are the same. I don't do relationships. Love just leads to heartbreak. You're not hearing strength, you're hearing fatigue, unhealed wounds that were never allowed to close properly. What looks like confidence is often exhaustion. What sounds like independence is often distrust. You don't have to argue with it. You don't have to fix it. You just have to recognize it. Compassion doesn't mean participation. Empathy doesn't require sacrifice. Protect your energy from people who use bitterness as a personality. 8. The false healing loop. You've seen this before. Someone's healing every few months. New man, new lesson, new quote about self love. But it's always the same cycle: hurt, distract, repeat. That's not healing. That's avoiding silence, because stillness forces you to face your patterns. Stillness demands you stop blaming others and start asking hard questions. And most people aren't ready for that. If someone says they're working on themselves but is always surrounded by male attention, backup options, flings on standby, they're not healing, they're escaping. As a man, only build with someone who can sit still long enough to hear their own soul. Your role as a man. You are not a fixer. You are not a savior. You are not a therapist. You are a man. Your job isn't to rescue someone from their patterns. Your job is to stand in your own values and watch who rises to meet you. When someone thrives in chaos, your calm will feel like distance. Let it. Don't lower your peace to match their storm. Stay grounded. Let your energy be your filter. This message isn't about men versus women. It's not about blame. It's about awareness. Because energy doesn't lie. A person's emotional history walks into the room long before they open their mouth. Your ability to read that energy, to recognize patterns, to protect your peace, to move with clarity, that's your greatest strength. Real masculinity isn't about control, it's about discipline. Protect your mind, guard your time, honor your energy, and remember, connection is only sacred when both hearts are awake.